First, before we even start the conversation, I just wanted to congratulate you and really say, like, as I was doing my research and when Andrea reached out to me about it, when she pitched it, I was like, hell yeah, like, let's do it. Every time I see you, whether it's on Instagram or doing an interview, you're just smiling. You look so like happy. And what I love about it, especially being in this industry, is coming across people that like I could feel God's presence. And I've never met you before, but I definitely like feel it. You're truly a vessel. So I just had to go ahead and tell you that and give you
Well,
your flowers.
thank you so much. And the fact that you even said that I'm a vessel, like I tell people that like Milano Di Rouge is just a vessel to get the message across.
Right.
So like that's my goal. Like it's not even really about the clothing, it's about the message. And the message is making dreams reality. So I think we're aligned.
For sure. For sure. Kindred spirits for sure. Okay, so before the interview, I want to play a quick icebreaker game. You're basically just choosing between this or that. That's it. Okay, so dress in heels or sweatsuit and sneakers.
So let's do the sneakers.
My type of girl. Listening to a podcast or reading a book.
Both.
Okay. You had to pick if you just had to pick.
Podcast.
Okay. Visiting Paris or visiting Tokyo?
Paris.
Okay. Which holiday do you love the best, Thanksgiving or Christmas?
Christmas.
Okay. Would you enjoy listening to poetry more or watching the artistry of dance?
I'm having both at my show though, but dance.
Okay. I actually thought she was going to say poetry, dance. Okay, cool. And then last one, braids or bundles?
Bundles.
Okay. That was fun.
Yes.
So let's get right into it. So for those who aren't familiar with who you are, can you briefly tell us who Milan Harris is?
Milan Harris is an entrepreneur, philanthropist. I am a dreamer and a good person.
Amen. You are. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't say congratulations again on celebrating a decade of business with your amazing streetwear brand, Milano Di Rouge. Who or what inspired the brand?
I was inspired to create Milano Di Rouge because I will always wear my boyfriend's clothing. So I wanted to start with unisex. I started with the unisex line because I was always that girl to just wear his stuff. And whenever I would put on his clothes, I felt like I would make a sweatsuit sexy just by adding some heels to it. Yeah. So that's where I got the idea from.
Got you. And I'm sure being a Black woman in this industry is no easy task. So can you tell us of a time that you faced adversity within your business and how you overcame it?
I feel like I face adversity even now. Like, what's the difference between Milano Di Rouge and Tommy Hilfiger? Like, we're both unisex streetwear brands or unisex premium brands, but what's the difference? Like, you know, and we're both doing really well. I know that they're a staple and they've been in the game much longer, but like the type of items that we sell and we carry, like, what's the difference? Like, why don't we have the notoriety that the other brands have? So I feel like when I started, I've experienced the same thing. And even now to this day, we were having a conversation yesterday with my team and they were like, why don't we have any coverage for the show? Like, look at all of the amazing accolades you've done over the years. Right. And just not even just like financially what you reach, but you have almost all of the celebrities in it. You have a really dope brand. Your brand has a message and it's empowering the community. Why aren't you being seen at the CFDA Awards? So, right. But that's my thing is, I just feel like we were having this conversation and I was saying like, I think that it was just meant for me to just break a barrier and I need to create it, you know? And that's what I've been doing. Yeah. I just been creating what I want to be a part of.
Yeah, I love that. It's like you can acknowledge the BS and the negative aspect of it, but you're flipping it and making a positive out of it and finding a solution to it. So I love that. I love that.
And that's what I've always done.
Yeah. So what would you say the journey has been like growing this brand over the past 10 years? Because of course, when you started to where it is now, times have changed, things are different. But what are some key elements during that journey that you think helped to bring you to, the success that you have today?
I think my faith and my mindset. I feel like mindset plays the biggest role in everything. Like I always say, I don't look at things as like, why is this happening to me? Instead of what is this meant to teach me and prepare me for? So like me having a good mindset really helped me out. And just, I was willing to sacrifice a lot of things. I know that in order for me to grow into this person, I had to change who I was, you know, I had to make sacrifices. I couldn't go to the parties with my friends were partying, you know, I had to miss out on a lot of things, but I know I had this goal, I had this vision. So I just had to stick right with it.
Yeah. And you know, sacrifices, that's like so big that I feel like a lot of people don't talk about enough or just don't really face the reality of it. Because even in this industry as a journalist, there's plenty of holidays that I'm missing family. And, you know, I feel bad about different things. But can you just speak a little bit more about, you know, sacrifice and how it'll benefit you in the long run?
Yeah, like I feel like everything is a sacrifice, you know? Like sometimes you got to sacrifice the good for the great. And I've been making sacrifices this entire time. Like it's certain things that I want to do. You know, like right now I had to sacrifice my personal life for my professional life. And sometimes it gets hard, but it's like I know what I want and I know my vision and I know that like the bigger picture. So like ultimately God doesn't make any mistakes, but I'm going to sacrifice this. I'm going to sacrifice the good for the great.
Yeah. Yeah. That is so true. Now let's get into the celebration happening this weekend. I'm so excited. The fashion show will be held here in Atlanta, Georgia. So what can attendees expect? And also, what made you choose Atlanta?
Okay, so this show is going to be amazing. The fact that you even mentioned poetry or dance, like I'm going to have both of them in my show. I'm so big on like really, I want the audience to feel the energy in the room. Like I want them to leave more inspired and empowered than ever. Milano Di Rouge means making dreams reality. And I want people to leave knowing that like, if she did it, I can do it too. We have this amazing visual that's going to play during the fashion show. We have it's so amazing. I wish you could come. It's so amazing.
I will be there for sure.
Oh, yes. Oh, so you're going to, I promise, everything that I'm saying, you're going to feel it.
Okay.
So we have an amazing visual that we created, and we have a poet, we have a ballerina, and we're just going to tell the journey of the past 10 years. And it's just going to be a celebration. And not only will you get to watch a dope, amazing show, you'll be surrounded by dreamers. And we always encourage people to network. And one of my main messages is like no negativity. When you leave this event, talk about the positive experiences that you shared, because I want people to just pour more positive energy into the air. But it's going to be just a celebration, good love, good vibes, and just a great time to celebrate Milano Di Rouge 10-year anniversary.
Yes, I love that. I'm super excited. And the theme is The Dream Continues, correct?
Yes.
So where did that come from? Like what inspires you to have that theme?
So I was in 2020, after I had my baby, I had text my team. I'm like, our next fashion show, we are going to do a airline theme. Okay. And I was thinking about an airline because I was thinking about the Wright brothers. You know, the Wright brothers created the airplane. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking about like how many times I've been doubted, you know. I was like, I just can't imagine how many times they've been doubted. They told the world that they probably was telling their friends like, oh, the world is going to travel by air, and no one believed them. But look, and like this is how everyone gets around, right? Yeah. So I really wanted to make this show be symbolic to the airplanes, just to show that dreams are real. And I don't want you to limit your dreams. And once you make one dream a reality, you dream some more. You dream bigger, you dream better, but you never stop dreaming. So that's my life. Once I reach one goal, I just continue to dream. And I wanted it to represent our 10-year. Like 10 years is a big step. Some people take it to 1, you know, and then 5. I remember seeing on Instagram, it was a quote, and it would say, you'll see who really working in the next 5 years. And that stuck with me. And it was like, I got to continue to work hard. So once I made it to 5 years, I was happy. But for me to make it to 10 years, it's a blessing. So the dream continues. It's real. It resonates in my soul.
Yeah, that's dope. And, you know, I'm a big believer in affirmations, speaking life over myself. I'm sure you are as well. So are there any affirmations that you go by daily that have made an impact in your life and in your career?
I typically just say to myself, Never let the praise get to your head and the criticism get to your heart. And
Mm-hmm.
that just helped me keep the perfect level and a perfect balance.
You gotta say that one more time. That touched me. Say that one more time for me.
Never let the praise get to your head or the criticism get to your heart.
I love that. I love
Thank you.
that. Yes. Now, speaking about ownership, what does ownership mean to you, and how have you implemented that into your life? Because I know that in our community, a lot of people feel like we were kind of set back compared to, other demographics of people, and ownership is just so important. So, yeah, how have you implemented that into your life?
Ownership to me means freedom. And it's so funny that I was making millions even like since 2017.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't own anything. And I didn't own anything until the year 2020. And it wasn't until I had my son that I started to think about ownership. Like I didn't own my store. I had a store, but I didn't own a building. I had an office, didn't own a building. I had a showroom, didn't own a building. Apartment, nice apartment, didn't own it. Didn't own nothing that I own, except for materialistic things like watches and jewelry and bags. That's the only ownership that we were taught. That's what we saw. But when I had my son, I was thinking about my legacy and like, what would I leave him? Like he can get a watch, but what would I leave him? Yeah. And I'm like, okay, all of this money sitting in the bank is no good in the bank. It's not accumulating no wealth. Like, so I literally started buying property and I started investing in property. I bought my new store and we're working on a zoning for that. And then I bought my mom and sister a property. I bought my house and then I bought my son a property for his first birthday. And I just bought 12 properties in 15-month span because I'm like, I don't want my money spent in the bank. I'm going to invest in property because I want to build wealth.
Right.
And ownership to me is freedom. Mm-hmm. It's freedom. And I know a lot of times when people think like, oh, I want to have my own business because I don't want to work for anyone. I don't look at ownership as like not working for anyone, because if you have your own business, you work for everyone that work for you. Right. So I don't look at ownership in that aspect. I just look at it as the freedom to create and tell your story. You can control your narrative and you can put out what you want to put out in the way that you want to put it out.
Right. That's so real. And, speaking about your son, your baby boy, he's so precious. After giving birth to him, how did you manage postpartum symptoms and, not only accepting this new reality, but also embracing the new woman that you became?
What's so crazy is, so I didn't have postpartum depression, thank God. So when I was pregnant, I would do so much research because I wanted to know if I was to have it, what were the signs and what can I do about it? Because I was just trying to prepare. And during that research, I ended up creating a Momminaire Club because all of the things that I was discovering, I'm like, so many women can benefit from this. So I created the Momminaire Club, but just my postpartum process, I wish I shared it a little more because I shared so much of me on social media. But when I was going through my postpartum process, especially getting back to my old size, I didn't feel 100% myself. And I didn't know that it was okay to feel that way. So it was like, all right, now that I look back in hindsight, I'm like, that was a beautiful journey that I should have shared because so many women could have been inspired by that. But it was like, nothing fits me right. It was so much that I just didn't like, but I had to learn to embrace it while I worked on changing it.
Yeah. I'm not a mom, but I have a lot of friends who are moms, just women in my life who have gone through it. And they definitely talk about the journey of shedding your old self and then just coming into your new self and really just like loving that whole process. Cause I know it's difficult. It's definitely not easy, but it's inspiring.
Yeah, I feel like now, like I'm such in this place where like, it was as if like the skin shed. Or like I'm like zipping down my hoodie and then you the Superman, the S from the Superman, I turn into Superwoman. I have strength that I never knew I had. I have power that I never knew were inside of me. It's like I have someone else to live for now. I have a new reason, a new being. And that's why the Momminaire Club is so important to me because I wanted to show women that just because you become a mother, it doesn't mean stop your dreams. It means you got to dream even more. You got to go even harder because you got someone watching you. Your happiness, they're dependent on your happiness,
Yeah. Listen, when I had my first baby, I'm joining. Actually, I'm looking at the page now, so I could be ready when it's time. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that whole process, that just scares me. It's like, oh my God, that is so crazy. But it is a blessing for sure, for sure.
Yes.
Okay, so what do you believe the Milan Di Rouge brand represents for your community?
I feel like I said this. I had did a little cipher on BET.
Yeah.
And in my cipher, I said Milano Di Rouge isn't just a brand, it's a symbol of hope. Because it is. It inspires people to know that they can do it too. You know, right. I come from the hood. I come from the bottom of West Philadelphia. If you look at my circumstances and everything that I was up against, statistics show that I'm not supposed to be here. Milano Di Rouge is a symbol of hope because like if you work hard enough, if you really want something as bad as you said you do, you don't have to be a product of your environment. You can become a product of your decisions. So
that is so true. That is true. Now, I came across this quote and I really love it. It says, the ability to learn is the most important quality a leader can have. Obviously, you are very much a leader, and I could tell that you love to learn and you are always, you know, taking whatever type of wisdom you can get. So how does this quote resonate with you? The ability to learn is the most important quality a leader can have.
It resonates really well. So the Womenaire Club, that is the slogan for Womenaire. It's still learning. So, and I wanted it to be the slogan because like I embrace where I am, but I love the fact that I'm still learning. And you can be a work in progress and a masterpiece at the same time. I remember I used to be going to go speak. So wait, another thing I wanted to mention, the ability to unlearn is equally as important.
Come on. Because
unlearning some of the things is instrumental to your growth.
It is.
Yeah. But I was going to say, I remember when I first started Milano Di Rouge, I would go to do speaking engagements at different schools in Philadelphia because I wanted to show them what entrepreneurship is. And I remember, so because I'm from Philly, like we all typically understand each other's accent, we all talk fast. And so everyone like was understanding of right. I remember posting it on social media, and then I started to get critics and feedback, and it would be like, who does she think she is speaking to children? Like she doesn't even speak professionally. Like she needs to take etiquette classes. So I just heard different feedback, and I'm like, I got some stuff to say. What I got to say can change lives. So I did not let that stop me. And that right there was me embracing that I was a work in progress and a masterpiece at the same time. And I use that criticism to sharpen my skills because I take criticism constructively. Yeah. So I invested in a public speaking coach. I took acting classes so I can get comfortable with speaking in front of the camera. But while at the same time, I was still going to those schools and talking.
Right.
I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to show them kids that I come from where you come from. I was sitting in these same seats. If I'm doing this, you can do this too. And this is just a part of my journey.
Right. And what people fail to realize too is that authenticity, it powers all of that. Like those kids see themselves in you. You know what I mean? Like, so for somebody to try to tell you how you can and can't talk, it just be society and people get on my nerves. But I love that you are very much authentically yourself because that is truly what's guiding you this far. Yes. Now I know you're a busy lady and, you know, time is of the essence. So lastly, before I let you go, where can people shop Milano Di Rouge and how can everyone keep up with you and support your endeavors?
You can shop Milano Di Rouge on milanodirouge.com, and you can follow me on Instagram at I am Milan Rouge. You can download our app, Milano Di Rouge, and just stay connected.
Yes. And I know the holidays are coming up. So do you have anything like any specials that's going to happen or Black Friday stuff?
Yes, we have a huge Black Friday sale, and we also have a sale for our 10-year anniversary as well. Okay. And that promo code is So Can You.
Oh, I love it. It's just giving me the life I need on today. So thank you so much for joining me here at 2190. I cannot wait to just experience this amazing show this weekend and meet you in person and just keep up the great work. It is truly inspirational.
Thank you so